Um, First of all, it was a great day for us. We're really excited about whom we got signed up today. I want to thank our recruiting department and Brian Overton and Hub and Sierra and Charlie and everybody that had Hannah, all the folks that had all G that had everything to do and our coaching staff. We went out for needs and we signed 11 on offense, 11 on defense, and we got a kicker uh, out of the deal, out of the transfer portal as well. 5 offensive linemen so far. 3 of them were out of the transfer portal. 2 wide receivers, 2 quarterbacks, 1 in the portal, a running back, a tight end out of the portal. DBs, we had 6, 1 out of the portal at this point. Linebacker 3, 1 out of the portal at this point. And looks like now we're at 3 wide receivers instead of 2. Go Hogs. We got a D lineman out of the high school, 2 of them that we really liked. I don't know, I got screwed up there as I was going down. I got the thumbs up on Ashton Bethel Roman. So really excited. So that puts us at 24, and we have 1 scholarship out that we're very, very hopeful that we were able to sign that young man as well. In this process, we want to make sure that we didn't reach on anybody, that we, at times last year it might have been somewhat of a little bit of a panic because of numbers. And so you're going, well, I think this guy's going to be a good player for us, all these things. We did not want to do that at all. We did not want to recruit anybody that we thought might be depth. Everybody that I'm talking about out of the portal, it would be all plug and play. Obviously, they've got to earn that, but we're very, very happy with what we did out of high school. Certainly, we're going to miss every now and then on players that we offer. We are more concerned about the ones we get than the ones we lost. But overall, I thought this was an outstanding day for the Hogs. And more importantly, we're headed in the right direction at quarterback. And I'm talking about both of them. And we're headed in the right direction on the O-line. I'm talking about high school and transfers, and we're not done yet. But those were two big key areas that we wanted to try to address in recruiting, and we did. We obviously know we have the 3rd through the 7th period there that we've got some work to do. I think we have about 8 scholarships left, and so we've got to be right, because I think we only have 10 visits left, so we're close to maxed out there. But we have that, and then obviously you've got your 2nd signing period, and then it opens back up in April. So with that, I'm really excited, guys, about what went on. I'm proud of our coaches for what they did, and I'll answer any questions you might have.
Hey, Sam, where would you like to direct what's left of the class?
Yeah, that's a good question. I still think on the defensive side, out of the portal, I think you'd need a corner, a linebacker. Obviously, I think you would need an edge and an interior. So there's 4. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I think we need another interior offensive lineman. I think we're fine at tight end. I think we're fine at quarterback. I think we need a running back out of the portal and a wide receiver. So I think that's probably pretty close to 8 right there.
Chance we've had to talk to you about Eric Mateos. Just you obviously worked with him before. What's he going to mean maybe to the program?
I love him. First of all, I mean, he's a wonderful person, a hard worker, obviously proven. Went to Texas State, went to LSU after here, obviously coached some tight ends at some point in that career. Went to Texas State. Then BYU, had one of the top lines in the country in the Joe Moore Award. Award candidates went to Baylor. Same thing down there. Coached several NFL offensive linemen. I think he's got 4 or 5 guys he's had his hands on that are starting in the NFL right now at center. And he's just a wonderful man. Thing I like most about him is that he wanted to be here. When I called him, it was absolutely had wonderful family, and I'm just real proud that he's come. We've already seen some of the great work that he's done at the center position in the portal. He kept the 2 linemen. Obviously, we love Kobe Branham, and we like and Zuri. Kept those 2, and then went out and got whom we think is a super player in Junior Pomona, and certainly Addison Nichols. Those 2 he got already, but just a wonderful man that knows how to motivate, knows how to coach.
Coach, what can you say about Braylon Russell? What's expectations for him?
You know, Bobby and I were sitting in there watching his tape, and we think he can play right now. He's got the size, the physicality, loves the state of Arkansas, the university, great parents. But I tell you, he's got the size and the physicality. He's really, really improved, in my opinion, over the last year. Didn't have to have his statistics may not be world beaters because they didn't have to use him. They had a really good ball club, and but I think he has a chance to play for us this year.
What can you say? I guess Ashton went official since you came in, or since
Yeah, we won a golf cart, and I just needed a thumbs up if
what he brings
Speed.
that wide receiver room.
Speed, great kid, great family, but speed. And I think he ran 21.3 or something like that in the 200 meters, whatever it was, something close to that. Obviously, we all know we like speed. Bobby loves speed. And so we went out and got him. And obviously, nobody knew about Cross Johnson. I didn't either until about 3 or 4 days ago when we felt like we may lose a receiver. We needed another high school, and we needed him with speed. Cross has run 10.5, and he runs it on the field. And so we were able to add there.
Coach, you touched on him a little bit, but I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about some of the offensive line transfer additions, where they might fit in starting out, Carmona, Blackstock, and Nichols, and if you're planning on adding any more.
We are going to add some more. We need them. Now, listen, you know what I'm getting ready to say. This has nothing to do with what we have. We were young. I mean, you look at Chambly and Harris, and I mean, you can go down Kudus, you know. Those guys are going to be really good players for us. They got thrown out there, and that was, you know, we need to do a little bit better recruiting in the years prior to that. But we had a problem of older, bigger, more ready guys, which these guys I just talked about might be over the weight room and over the summer. But we went in first trying to find tackles. I mean, that was our biggest thing. We felt like we hit big time on Blackstock early, maybe 4 weeks ago, whatever that was. And then when Eric got the job, he found Carmona, and man, he's a great kid, big. He's very, very aggressive. Only played football. I think he played tight end maybe a year or something. They moved him to tackle. But he's to me, he's us, him and Blackstock. He's, you know, chip on his shoulder, aggressive, you know, the old Dan Skipper, Travis Swanson, Ragnow, Tortola, that type group, and Bray's, if I don't mention Bray Cook, he'll be mad at me. But those type guys. And then we needed a center. And obviously we're very happy we have Wiggins here, and he's going to develop as well. And it's going to be a heck of a battle in there and all those things. But Addison Nichols, I worked out when I was at Georgia. I offered him that day. Very, very, very talented. But we needed someone that snapped the ball. And whether that be a guard center or center guard, however you look at it, we need somebody that could definitely snap the ball. He'll come in. We'll look at him at center to begin. Those 3 places were where we wanted to go immediately. The next guy we want to go after is a guard that has the capabilities of snapping the football. And so we're going to go there. We may go 2 more, but we're definitely going to go 1 more.
So you've got 7 scholarships, I guess, if nothing changes from now to
Right.
August. I've got you at like more 84, 85, but I can only go on players who haven't said anything yet.
Yeah.
Is that maybe some super seniors that aren't taking advantage
You-
of that last year? Or?
Well, that would be one of them. Super seniors, you have to ask to come back. They're through with their degree and things of that nature. So there may be something in there, Trey. The other thing would be, we may have some guys graduating earlier than what we thought. Would be one or two, and then maybe a medical, something of that nature might be involved in all those 8 that I'm getting at, where you're a little bit different.
77.
77.
You said you had
Maybe,
8.
maybe 78, depending on what happens with the scholarship that we have out.
Coach, with Arkansas Edge in place, I'm wondering if you've noticed if it's benefited you at all with this transfer portal cycle yet.
Yeah, it certainly has. I mean, it didn't benefit me a lot when it was announced the day that I was going through our team, when I was talking to all our team, because it came out and they're going, oh, we got all this extra money and all this kind of stuff. But yes, it certainly has. And we're certainly grateful for all those that gave to that. We needed it. We're using it wisely in the NIL department, but absolutely.
I wanted to ask you, you said Nichols at Georgia, you offered him the first day you saw him. Why?
I think he might have been a sophomore, if I'm remembering right. Freshman or sophomore. Very, very athletic. Very athletic. Now, I'll tell you, I thought he was going to be a college tackle. And I'll be honest with you, when I was at Georgia, we'd get not everybody, but, almost whoever we wanted. So in my mind, I was very particular of whom we would offer. And I offered him as a tackle. He had that kind of ability, that kind of length. And then I, obviously watched a lot of tape on Tennessee and things, and didn't play a lot of center there, but I did play some center in practice and things of that nature. And I just think he's a very, very gifted athlete. That is, I guess that's the word. He's an athlete, big and he's athlete, really, really, really precise with his hands. And I really liked him. We were doing one-on-ones when he was just a kid. And I mean, he was winning every rep and doing it, looked almost effortlessly.
I wanted to ask you about Charleston Collins. It seemed like for a while there that him and Courtney Crutchfield would be a pair, but
Yeah.
Crutchfield goes to Missouri, Collins stays with you guys.
Mhm.
Just your thoughts on him being loyal to you guys.
Well, I mean, guys, let's face the facts, with our year that we had, it affected a lot of things. And with our kids in the state that stayed with us, with all the noise going on around the program, I mean, that's big time for loyalty. And because we didn't sign anybody that didn't have several offers from the state of Arkansas everywhere else. And with Charlie, he probably was as top of that. Him, Wyatt Simmons had a tremendous amount, Braylon, all these guys. And to stay here, it just proves that they're going to be really damn good Hogs, because they wanted to be here. And with Charlie staying with us, that was special. Him and the other 4 as well, the other 4 besides him.
Coach, going back to Ashton Bethel Roman, I know you said what he brings to the table, but he had visited a couple other schools here down the stretch. Just what's the key to keeping a guy locked in like that when he's obviously exploring his other options?
That's hard. I mean, Kenny obviously did a nice job with the family, and our relationships helped us. Bobby, I think, has done a tremendous job of getting to know him since he's been here. Bobby met with him. I'm pretty sure we all did about an hour an hour a day over the last few days. But Bobby did a tremendous job with him as well, showing him why with why he wants to use him, how he's going to use him. But I think it goes back to say a lot about the young man. He wanted to come to Arkansas, and the parents allowing him, to make the choice of whatever his choice was.
It wasn't until this past weekend that KJ Jefferson announced he was going in the portal. Was that something you kind of knew was coming, and that knowledge maybe help you when you went out looking in the portal for a guy to bring in?
Yeah, I mean, it was basically a whenever we had our exit meeting, it was, we knew that he was going to go explore other colleges, and we certainly were happy that he spent his years with us and what he did with us. But that was kind of understood. That's what he was going to do.
And also you mentioned the in-state guys that you got the loyalty and everything. Just how would you assess your in-state recruiting this year as a whole?
Well, I mean, there's obviously every year, if you don't get them all, you're disappointed. But at the same time, we had done such a nice job in our recruiting department of having others ready. We wanted to stay as low as possible to the kids from the state. So sometimes you're not going to get them all, and it's disappointing because we feel like for their life and for their career and for their passion, they help us win. But at the same time, we have to make decisions, and I'm not telling you we're always right in those things, but we have to make decisions, and we make them, and then we worry about the ones that are here and not the ones that aren't. But we don't worry about that.
Coach, you talked about Simmons a little bit, but talk about Sorey, Simmons, and Logan, those linebackers.
Well, Wyatt, let's start with him. Very, 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 very aggressive. Daddy obviously is a great coach. Won the Natty, they're at Harding University, and honestly, the last two games weren't close. So man, what a great team they had, and congratulations there to Paul and his coaching staff. But Wyatt comes from obviously a father background of coaching, very, very physical, can run, played a little bit of everything, played tight end, played running back, but he's a linebacker. He's a Mike linebacker to me. He can play Willie too, but he's a guy that go sick him, go after the football. Logan was a guy that wasn't quite as highly recruited as those guys, but we really liked his size and his. T. Will kind of went after him. That was his guy. That he goes, he knew a little bit about him and things of that nature, character-wise. Great kid. And then Sorey is a guy, is an athlete, a guy that can run side to side. We'll turn him loose and see what happens. But he was used primarily there more in his career as a pass rusher.
Talk a little bit about the two quarterbacks also.
Well, when we obviously we had KJ Jackson committed, and then Bobby goes, and I said, some of the first things we did is look at who we're recruiting because it's now, Then we went back and saw who we have on the team, and Coach and I have spent a lot of time watching film together, whether it be the ones we have or the recruits we're trying to get. And when he saw KJ Jackson, he said, man, this guy he's athletic, he's smooth, he's got a quick release, he's very accurate. And I said, well, if you like the tape, you're going to love the kid. And then we went on a home visit, and what a wonderful family. And he's 6'5". He's a big man, and that can run and has a very, very strong arm. And Talon, we had about probably 5 guys that we were on for quarterbacks in the portal. Bobby and I both wanted Talon Green. That's the guy that we decided to go after. Fortunately, we went after him. Obviously, I think we've all know about his game that he had, in the championship there. He's what we're looking for athletically. He's kind of, KJ and him are similar. They're both, talking about KJ Jackson and him are very similar. They throw the football and they can run the football, but I love his leadership. And you know, the quarterback's job is, in my opinion, is make everybody around him, including the defense, better. I think he has that leadership. He's got that, what do you call that, aura about him, that I think he's going to really make everybody around him a better football player.
Sam, I know you touched on some of these mistakes and signings already, but from what I read, Collins was the highest ranked guy. What do you like about him, and just what do you think about the group as a whole, what they bring?
Now,
together?
Charlie really brings a long, athletic guy who loves to play the game. You know, we talked a little bit about Wyatt Simmons. We talked a little bit about Braylon. Kobe Branham. Kobe Branham, I love him now. I love big, athletic guys. Love his family. But I tell you what, I think he's going to be really special. I think Kim Dammer and that group over there did a really good job with him. And then CJ Brown. I mean, he's local. He did a little bit of everything for his team. He's a great athlete, faster than what, you know, I thought at first, you know, even. But he catches everything. The one thing is he's tough, comes from an athletic family. Both his sisters are athletic. Daddy was. And so they can't say enough about him at the school, the type person that he is. And of course, obviously they got beaten in the state championship, but at one point they'd lost a lot of they'd lost 3 in a row, and it was great coaching, but it also was leadership. And I think it was what CJ did on the team. And so those are the guys, and we're really, really happy we've got them all.
I know you obviously don't have to be a great player. Your dad doesn't have to have been a coach, but the fact that Simmons' dad is a coach, how big a plus is that?
Well, I think it's a plus on any time you can get a guy that comes from education, you know, a coaching background, whatever that may be, because probably they've been coached harder than anybody else on the team if their dad was their coach. Now, I know Paul and Wyatt's story is different, you know, because Paul was coaching obviously at the college, but the knowledge and you seem to have a guy that if their parents are coaches that maybe come in a little ahead of the game mentally because they lived in a home and talked about it over supper all the time.
And Cross Johnson earlier, just a little bit. I mean, what went into getting him?
Yeah, good question. Bobby had brought him to me. Bobby knew about him. I did not. And Bobby knew about him, and he, you know, I don't know how much tape that we watched, but a whole bunch. Portal, high school, whatever it may be. It seems like every day you're either in a home or you're watching tape, home or watching tape. And like Brian and his group did a great job of getting that to us. But so again, we were just seeing if there was somebody out there in case we'd lost somebody. And as you know, Ashton Bethel Roman just signed right before we got in here. So, you know, there was question marks on some of those guys in the wide receiver room. And I knew we could go in the portal, but we needed some young guys too, you know. So he was spectacular on film. He's not the biggest guy, you know, he's about 175 pounds. But what he can do, how he can catch, and how he can run. He runs 10.5, but he runs 10.5, if that makes sense on the field. He had a really electric tape. And so I said, I want to go on him if we have an available, because I did want to save the other scholarship for an older portal guy. And we had that available, and we made the call yesterday.
We talked with Deion Stutz's family a little
Yeah.
bit. Seems like you've really, you know, been helping them out since.
Yeah, I hope so.
But just could you talk about him a little bit?
Yeah, you know, just a wonderful kid. Loved the outdoors. Lived on a ranch, not a farm. I made that mistake. No, I didn't. Like everybody kept saying, "Did you say farm?" You know, and but loved the 4-wheelers, loved the outdoors, and a very athletic kid. I thought his future on the field was super bright because he was a worker. I mean, he drove an hour one way to school, and but wonderful family. And, you know, if we all knew where he was, we'd be probably fighting to get there, you know, so we talk about that often.
You haven't really had a quarterback battle since you've been, I mean, it kind of just moved right into KJ.
Yeah.
And when Bobby was here before, I mean, it was, you know, Casey, then Ryan, and, you know, it was all kind of assumed the next guy. So
Yeah.
I know you like the two spot and stuff, but that might change a little bit. How do you plan on running that?
Well,
quarter-
we've got to get the most reps so Bobby can see them, you know, live. So we probably will start early in some two spotting. Two spotting can be, it doesn't have to be, let's say this, Trey, it doesn't have to be ones and freshmen and twos and threes. It can be ones and whoever you want to look at, you know what I mean, on this field. So we may or may not do that, but I'm assuming it's helped us in the past. I'm assuming we will, but obviously that battles, we've got three guys there in a battle. And so, and then KJ will get in and he'll jump right in the middle of it too. So, each guy has to earn what they get. So, but we have to give them opportunity to do that as well. So we've got to figure all that out. We haven't quite talked about that. I don't even know if Bobby knows that we two spot or not yet.
I don't think we've asked, well, I know we hadn't asked you about the schedule at all. You know who you're going to play, but you
Yeah.
don't know the order of it. What are your thoughts on how the schedule?
Yeah, I like
shapes
the
up?
schedule. I know we have, I believe it's LSU, Tennessee, Texas, and somebody else here, Ole Miss at home. I know that in the league, and certainly that's a big deal. I know we go to Oklahoma State will be obviously a tough task, but I'm really excited about the 16 teams and the way they did it. I think it's fair. I think our schedule is fair. It's obviously tough because it's in the SEC, but I like where we're at. I like the two byes, Trey. You know, I like the two byes. I think we always play well after a bye. Well, we have. And I like those two byes in there. We're starting a little earlier, the 31st of August, but over in Little Rock. But I like the schedule.
Same, Juju Pope, where do you, I think I've seen him
Yeah.
listed as a linebacker. I think you got him listed as a DB online. Just where do you envision him playing?
But he's really an athlete. And here's what happened with Juju. We watched his tape and we were doing the same thing. We were going, where are we going to play this kid? We're going to play him at Hall. We're going to play him at linebacker. We're going to play him at running back. And so what I said was, look, if we can sign 20 guys better than him, you know, I don't think we can. And so I said, let's take him and then we'll figure out where we're going to play him when he gets here. On our depth chart right now, he's a hog. So we'll see, but we know he could play running back. We know he could probably play a safety, and I think he might could play a Willie linebacker as well, you know, or a box linebacker. But we'll just wait and see. But we took him because I didn't think we could sign 20 guys better than him.
I know you've got Bobby as your offensive coordinator now, Coach Mateos at offensive line. Do you anticipate any other staff changes potentially this offseason?
No, not that I'm aware of. No.
Yeah, Coach, Pittman Henderson was the first kid that committed to you in this class. He stayed with you the whole time. You were talking about loyalty earlier, but talk about Henderson. I mean,
I'm
that's
telling you.
a lot of loyalty.
You know, if you look down here, guys, and I'll get with that. It's a good question. A lot of times you get in here and you're pushing. I think he's going to do something, but you might be the only one thinking he's going to do that. You look down this list. There's multiple people that want the guys that we got, and he's one of them. I mean, he came from Alabama. He had both state schools offer him, want him. He stayed with us. I think it has something to do with his grandma. It has something to do with him, his coach, and Deke Adams. I think all those guys did a good job, but none of those other people would have a hold to stay loyal to us, especially the way our season went, if he didn't want to. And so just a wonderful kid, really good player, and we're great person, and we're just really pleased and happy and honored that he stayed with us. Thank you, guys.